Hey everyone, this is Cindy at an open door. It is Friday, August 22nd. This is the hour. Um, we have titled Sharing the Word, and we're currently uh, reading Resurrection, a channeled text through Paul Selig. And that part of what we're doing together is facilitated by Amy and Sandra. Before we begin, we've gotten into the habit of listening to the guides. I have two small clips, and the first one, and we were having a conversation yesterday that led me to wanting to play just this couple of minutes. It was this is I'm gonna share the screen too. It's a live workshop from last weekend in Seattle, and a young man asked Paul slash the guides about artificial intelligence. And I know we've had a couple of our beautiful scientists talking about it lately, is artificial intelligence conscious? Can we, or should we be frightened of it? What should we do with it? So these few minutes from the guides felt useful to play it here. So that's number one.
Time for one more. In the blue shirt, the gentleman there on the aisle.
I had a question about artificial intelligence.
Your name first?
Charles W. So regarding artificial intelligence and the most empowering way we can view this. So we're told that soon artificial intelligence they're going to be more intelligent than people, and they're going to rule over people. So that sounds like the common field. That sounds like fear. That sounds like domination. But how can we bring God into the conversation? How could we up-level that conversation that seems so stuck in the common field?
I don't know that I'll get anything. They haven't talked much about AI. They've started to. I don't know much about it. I'm the only person I know who's not on any of those programs. I'm sorry, what? Okay, let me just tune in and see what they want to say. Charles, your last initial?
W.
Somebody's phone. Is that a phone jingling on? Let me just see what I got. Let me see if they want to take it. We would like to take it. We would like to take it. It's actually a collective idea that's been made. Artificial intelligence is still human in its intelligence because the programming is all human, and holds the feelings and holds the failings of humanity as well as the aspirations, and much of the brilliance, but it is not human. But it is not human, and it will not be sentient, and it will not be sentient. It's the sentience of humanity. It's the sentience of humanity will actually claim it eventually to be utilized in a higher fashion, not the other way around. If it enslaves you for a time, you've been enslaved by your own creation. You have been enslaved by your own creation. You have done this in the past. You have done this in the past with technologies you've claimed. You will likely do it again. It's meant to be a servant. But it believes itself. Because of how you've created it. It can be a master. It will not be a master finally. It will not be a master finally. It will not rule you. It will not rule you because eventually you can pull the plug on the system if you must. You're very reliant on things now that you think will always be there. You may not have some of them in the years to come. And this is useful to understand because it has been present and you relax into the collective agreement of what should be does not necessarily mean that it will still be there. artificial intelligence as a creation can be supportive. Is God in artificial intelligence? It must be in all things, but it must be claimed as in and with all things in order for it to be realized, or you will place it in separation, period. Okay? That's what I hear.
Oh, I like that.
So, Amy and Sandra, I don't, I have another 4-minute clip, but we can open this conversation. We could do whatever you're guided to do.
Well, if anyone wants to share about it, William liked it. Maybe he has something to say, maybe not.
I just like the master slave and how often ego is described that way. And it's more of the creation. Everything, all is God. And so, yeah, it just felt so good. I just liked everything he was saying, just seemed to slip right in and just, oh, that makes so much sense. I didn't find myself resisting at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? It was a very non-dual answer, actually. Very non-dual. I liked it too. Shall we move to the second clip? Okay, let's do it.
The idea of entrainment, or the high tone lifting the low tone it encounters, is not only enacted by you, but realized as you. You become as that tone, and with your willingness to bear witness to the world, you lift the world to the tone you sing from. It is an agreement you make in vibrational accord. By vibrational accord, we mean you are not denying what you see that may have been claimed in fear, operating in discord, but you see beyond the fear, beyond the hatred, beyond the prejudice, beyond the greed, to the very essence of the divine, that which expresses at that level of tone that will actually disband the lower. Imagine a shell that holds a great truth within it. Your lifting of the shell, seeing the truth that exists within the shell, may release the shell so that the truth within it can be seen. This happens in increments usually. You've seen pictures of people through their very voice alone shattering glass, piercing crystal. You have illustrations of this. But at the level of tone that we teach you, you are simply claiming you at the level of the divine self that in fact you have always been at, but been suppressing or been in the active denial of. The refuting of the divine that has come as you will seek to refute the divine that comes as all things. Underline all. Behold, I make all things new. Not just the things you would want to see improved, fixed, or lifted to your liking. You must get rid of personal preference now at this level and allow God to be God. God doesn't like the blue sofa better than the green one, does not like the one who prays in this church versus that mosque any better. God itself holds love, but also a kind of neutrality to the creations of humanity. If you want to claim war, go about claiming war, and continue to learn the lessons of war until you can no longer. The aspect of you that is the God within, that pierces the veil, can support the lifting of those things through vibrational equivalency, because the illustrations we gave you were born in density or fear.
But even within them, the seed of God expresses, can be opened, and can bloom in a reclamation of the old fear that may have been claimed through violence or greed or suppression. The time has actually come for every human being to say yes to their innate nature. Underline innate, within, the aspect of you that is always present that sings this one note. We have said many times, there is indeed one note sung in this universe that is in manifestation as all things, but at different levels of tone. You may call it all God if you want to, energy if you want to. It really matters not. But to understand that everything is of the source, even the lowest or highest, can support you in the reclamation of life and light where it has been denied.
Anybody have any thoughts or comments? Shall we just begin reading? Who would like to read today? Cindy? Indigo? Do you want to read, Indigo?
Sure. I don't know what to read, but sure. I don't.
Do you have a book?
Which book are you reading?
Reclamation. I wasn't sure if you wanted to just make a comment or if you wanted to read.
Either or. I don't know if I have Reclamation.
Okay. Well, go ahead and share. Well,
Um. I actually kind of forgot, but um, I would just say it's just so amazing to just trust everything, whatever's happening, and to know that it's here for me. And to surrender to whatever Indigo thinks, to surrender to whatever is happening, because I don't know, but I do know that everything is love and everything is God. And I don't need to know. I can close my eyes, put my hand on my heart, and know my Father, and know what we all are. And that brings me so much joy and peace and love. And I love being here with all of you. That also brings me so much joy and peace. And it's just the best thing ever.
well, we love it that you're here. And Cindy says, Indigo, not sure if it is easy to find, but we did send you a copy of the book a few months back.
Oh, okay, you did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get it right now. I wasn't sure.
Okay.
Let me get it.
The title is Resurrection.
Okay. Hold on.
So we've got Cindy who wants to read, maybe Indigo. Anybody else want to read?
Patricia, Pat,
Pat and Patricia. Okay.
and Sandra had her hand up as well.
Okay. All right. Let's see where we get with those readers. I put in the chat where we are. We are on page 25. At the bottom of the page, the idea of rearticulation. So Cindy, do you want to take it away?
Sure. And I do believe this is the last paragraph we read last week. We chose to start there again, right? The idea of rearticulation in form is less important than you think. It is the manifestation itself of what has always been holy, at a level of realignment where its newly articulated state can hold a level of tone that can transpose matter. And underline that word, matter. All matter is the divine operating in a lower density. When you become more spirit than flesh, or the realization of the flesh holds spirit more fully, you in fact become somewhat translucent. The energy that you are, which is operating in two strata simultaneously, in form and without, becomes a vehicle for change. Now, to comprehend this teaching is to understand law, and there is nothing in form that can be outside of God, although the application of the form may be in denial of the divine. Paul is seeing the image of a device of torture. It is also of God, without the meaning or the usage that has been ascribed it. To realize the metal or the stone that comprises the object as the divine in articulation reclaims your alignment to it so that it may be reseen and reknown beyond the prior edict or need. So all things are holy, although how they have been meant to use or the usage applied to them may be in the denial of the divine. Every human being is of God, although many deny it wholeheartedly and live an experience that is in shadow as a result. But once you understand that the material realm is an articulation of the divine operating in low tone, and what you are doing now is ascending in frequency as the body can manage it, and even as your sense of self can apply it, you will comprehend the fullness of this teaching. Just for me, it's just Joel Goldsmith says that everything is the infinite invisible, the infinite invisible temporarily manifesting as the tree or the human or the rock or the bird. And I hear that in this teaching right along with the fact that there's this attachment to story and density and, emotion, things that haven't Jim Self is the other part of the teaching where Jim says if something in you isn't ready to fully experience the present moment, you stick it in your backpack. But that, so you don't not looking at it, but it does add to the density of this sense of a separate self. And at some point, what I'm hearing in this teaching is that that backpack gets opened and brought back to the density, and it gets to be reclaimed in higher and higher vibrations. But it's never not been God. It's just been a denser form of it. So that's my share of.
It's like for me is that everything is here for us. Everything that's happening is here for us by our Father, by God. We just don't know that, and to love every single thing that's happening, because it's given to us by our Father with love.
Okay. All right. Izzy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm understanding. I've had a shift in the last couple of weeks that makes me understand this word translucent. This shift that's happening within has happened within me, makes the world seem permeable. It makes the world seem very light. It makes on this forum that I've been on lately, somebody mentioned when he had this shift that it felt like he was a ghost in a ghost town. And that is just absolutely perfect for what I've been experiencing. And we use the term we're not ready for shifts or awakenings or whatever. Um, and sometimes when we say that, we say we're thinking that this little me is not ready yet, but it's that God has made us not ready yet. It's that this being lived that we're doing here. It's just simply not time. But this shift I've had, I'm reluctant to call it an awakening. I don't know, because I really don't know what that means anymore. I used to think I knew what that means, but I don't anymore. In fact, I don't know anything anymore. It's been both extremely liberating and extremely disconcerting because because there's no one in here anymore that thinks that she's in control. This little one that used to need to control everything and everybody, and actually thought she could control the whole universe, that just simply seems to have disappeared. And I'm also very aware this last couple of weeks that this new way of seeing, this new way of being in the world, this lightness of being is it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable. If I don't, I could easily slip back into the old controlled ways of thinking. And if I don't continue to devote my love to staying here in this place, I will slip back. And I don't, oh my goodness, I don't want to do that. Um, I really appreciate y'all listening, because it's been very, very hard to explain it to myself or to other people. But that that there's somehow I've expanded out into the universe. There's no more boundaries. This body is not holding within it that little Isadora that used to be in there. And I'll be honest, I always thought that making a shift like this would be just full of bliss. But there are times when it is. There are times when it's very beautiful, and there's times when it just throws me completely out of kilter. And I suppose it's because um, I'm allowing old thoughts to come in. So thank you, Kendall. Um, thank you all for listening. I love you all.
Thank you for that, Izzy. Thank you very much. This is a really important reading, I think. There's a whole lot in here. Let's see what William has to say. William?
Izzy, you trigger this memory of the last couple of days myself. And what seems to be happening that I'm noticing is that I'm both something and I'm the shadow. It's like I see the shadow everywhere. I love the statement, I'm everything. And I don't have to know what that means. It just is feeling like I am. And I stop right there. And so when I hear Paul, it's like the sun shines through the clouds and I see something so clear, and then it's gone, and then it's here, and then it's gone. And it's that, for me, being is the one thing that never leaves. What does that mean? But there's something that it just seems so true. And then everything else becomes, it's like I'm all the frequencies at once. God is everything. So sometimes I have this frequency and at the same time here, but sometimes I notice I'm here when I'm actually here too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and when I slow down and quiet and just let the frequencies do what they do, and just yesterday I drowned. It felt like I was drowning in my judgments, in my thoughts, and it's almost like I wouldn't let go of all the suffering. I could not drown. And it's like I just shrunk to just a small particle. It's so separate. And yet, when I come out of that, I'm everything. So, oh my goodness, that was so good to see. I'm such a little separate nothing, and I'm everything. Oh man, I'm all inclusive. I can see the infinite. And I love what he's talking about, the matter here. And it's that everything, you can say whatever. And I love for that AI, it's all and then it's nothing. So I just like this. Call it translucent, call it transparent, call it. That's what I got to say.
There's no words, right? Yeah, it really stretches the mind. Thank God the mind is plastic, has plasticity, because that's what it's doing. It's going like this to our not immaterial mind, our non-material mind. It's
Amy, I'd like to say something to Izzy.
yes.
I like that. I truly believe there's absolutely nothing to fear. There's nothing you can lose. The slipping in and slipping out is all just part of the movement and the holiness of it all. Can't lose anything.
Thank you, Sandra. Patricia, you've been patiently waiting.
My pleasure. I'm learning a lot as I patiently wait. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Izzy, once again. What I was thinking is, as I was listening to you all, because we're talking about the same thing, is the dance. You know, I have that image of the butterfly and I go into the sac and into the caterpillar with all the little cells, which is all of everything, which is all of you, which is all of everyone I know, everything I know. And I go there and then I come out. I come out into the now. But I don't stay there very long. And I want to. There's that part of me that says you must practice more. You're not doing it right enough. You've got to practice being in the now. Allow yourself to be present all the time. But there's another part that runs back, goes back, and cuddles up with all the other that cuddle up in the sack, and then comes out and goes back. So it's this delicious dance. And sometimes I find myself staying out a little longer than before. And then being able to enter into the world from that place of awareness doesn't last that long. Okay. So what? It's a process. It's a dance. You know, and then I used to be a dancer. So there's that part of me that grieves the past. Oh, I want to do that again. So I go back, acceptance, and then come back out into the what is, not into the what was. That's all I have for now, folks. But thank you. Thank you, Izzy and everyone else. Love you all.
Love you too.
So I'm dancing with you folks.
You know, the memory of the dance never fades. And Jean Klein used to talk about how to go back. Was it Jean Klein? Into a memory. He said, when you go back into a memory, no, it wasn't. It was Atmananda. Go back and there's nothing wrong with it. Just bring the whole fullness of it into the present moment and have the love of the experience of it. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, enjoy the richness. It's like what we talked about last night. You can have your cake and eat it too, not in material form, but in the sense of the enjoyment of it, of the beingness of it. You can have that. I wanted to share what comes to mind with me in this paragraph. When you become more spirit than flesh, or the realization of the flesh holds spirit more fully, you in fact become somewhat translucent. This to me arises, and first of all, there's no me, right? It's God just working through this avatar. So when I say me, it's not Amy. It's just, you know, I give to myself, you know, you can call it whatever you want to call it, God or the Father. It's all of us just giving to ourself, right? All of it. So what this paragraph brings to this mind is we used to believe the earth was flat and that if we sailed too far out, we would fall off the edge. We really believed that. Like that was an awareness, a thought, an idea that was held in everyone's consciousness that thought about it. Everybody. We made maps that showed the end of the earth with monsters at the end. We thought there were monsters there. Right? And then we realized, oh, well, maybe that's not true, but we still thought that the earth was the center of the galaxy or of the universe, right? We thought that the sun revolved around the earth. We really, really thought that. We thought that so much we burned people at the stake. We tortured people over that idea. But then the plasticity of the mind could hold within itself the idea that there was a round object, that we lived on that, and that it was floating in some space, you know. Then we realized, oh, actually, we are orbiting around something else. We could imagine that and see that in our mind and hold that idea. And now we're being asked to hold an even greater idea. We're asking for our understanding to be even more plastic, which is that everything I see is arising in my awareness. It appears to be solid, but it's not. It's all arising in this awareness, and even more, it's an awareness that we all share. We are all present in the same awareness. And that's a whole other, asking the mind to go like this, only in all different directions. And we can't experience what we can't imagine. And so the awareness is brought into our mind through the greater self, whatever you want to call it, and it becomes reality through the potential that we hold of it in our own minds. Right? Because everything is an idea, and all ideas hold unlimited potential. So that's my take. Cindy.
Wanted to add an image. You were talking about stretching the mind as plastic. The way I heard the guides describe it is instead of plastic, to consider like a natural cloth, and in the density, the threads of the cloth are woven very tightly together, so it's a boundary, and this work is loosening the weave, and so there's space between the threads, so it's not just thinning, there's like literally holes where consciousness is unimpeded. So I just wanted to add that image to your beautiful image of the plastic, just sort of thin, I saw it like thinning,
Yeah.
becoming translucent. They were literally opening up the threads of a cloth, and so there's literally no barrier. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah, Helen Hamilton just released a satsang that she asks folks to sit and just keep your eyes open, and essentially I'm paraphrasing here, but just realize that everything that we see is all just arising in our awareness. Every single thing. It's a beautiful satsang. And that's, the more we do it, the more we stretch the mind. The more we practice that, as Izzy says. And Izzy, I think Sandra's spot on. Once you see it, once the door is open, it can't close again.
Well, I guess what has me thinking that is I have heard of people that had a full awakening and then slipped back. I don't know. No, Sandra, you're going no.
I'm sorry. I have laughter about that.
Ah,
I don't know where the laughter are, but it's that's what we are. It's almost like that's a belief, I believe, a false belief that somehow we have attained something, we've gone somewhere, and we've always been. There can be a forgetting. I forget. I get caught up in the content of experience sometimes. I think that's the way Rupert Spira phrases it. You get caught up in the content of experience and you become immersed in it, and that's okay. And then you remember, oh, I don't remember who said this. Somebody here will know. Once the mind has been stretched, it will never shrink back. to, I think it was Einstein. You cannot, once you've expanded, you don't shrink back. You might forget, and maybe the forgetting is intentional. I don't know. I really don't know. But I know that you can't lose anything because you didn't gain anything to begin with. It's always been there. It always is. I don't know if
It
it makes sense.
it does. I think the analogy that helps me more than anything is the screen and the movie analogy. That it's just, we're watching this movie and the fear of going back is just part of the movie. It's just part of the whole script.
It feels to me as though the content of experience, no matter what that content might be, is very seductive intentionally. And that's just how it feels to me. I get seduced into it. But now I experience it differently because now I know what it is. It's just an experience.
Right. And it's just a thought that can float on by at any given time that we want to let it float on by. Yeah.
The whole idea of translucence captured me as well, Amy. I love your explanation of that. Because sometimes when I'm looking, the guide said to us in the earlier clip, you don't deny what's happening, you see beyond it. And I really loved that. And I think seeing beyond is also seeing through, kind of. It's not like just beyond, but you can see through it. And in a way that you were describing, Izzy, with the ghost-like feeling. You see through it, you see the space within it. It's not as solid as it seemed at first. Solid, not only as matter, but as a metaphor. It's not as solid. And it gives it a lightness of being. I think those were your words, or someone's words, that feels really nice. That feeling might not last, but that's okay. The knowing remains. And the feeling will come back. I mean, so.
It can't help but come back. It's what you are, right? The love is
Yeah.
what you are. It's always calling to itself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
It
Yes.
can't,
Yes.
it cannot
yes.
help but come back. You don't have to do anything. In fact, the fear of losing it is, it's kind of, that's something to look at as well. Oh, I'm afraid of losing it. But it's just love calling to itself. Right? Just notice the fear and you don't have to believe the fear is real. It's just a thought that's coming up, right? It's the way the ego is trying to pull you back in, and it'll use any tool it can. I'll use fear. Don't make the fear real, right? Just know.
And you can begin to laugh at it or lightly hold it. It's like, oh, there she goes again. she's believing in that again.
Alka says, fear of losing is just the mind playing.
It's just a dance.
Yeah.
And you, Sandra and Amy, you just mentioned the two things that Ram Dass says we need: humor and love. That's all we need: humor and love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. All right,
Thank you
William,
so
and then Dago. Thank you. William, you're at the head of the table.
What just keeps coming to me is more and more that I observe in this, whatever this position, this place, this amorphous everything. I'm constantly looking at levels of awareness, levels of consciousness. I hear someone described their experience, I find myself at that level of understanding. And then suddenly I'm at another level, and then a lower level, and this level. It's like I'm constantly, and I'm not in charge of anything. It's just that makes sense. Oh, I'm the butterfly. I love that. Then I shift, then I shift, then I shift. I don't shift. It's just that what doesn't shift is just this awareness of all these levels of awareness, insight, understanding. And what I'm seeing is that, oh, I love those words. Oh, I love how they talk. Oh, I love how that, and I listen and I go and type out what Robert Adams or anybody. But that's just a level of understanding. It's like, yeah, the earth is flat. Oh, no, it isn't. Oh, okay. Now I'm there. And now I'm here. And I'm everywhere and nowhere. It's like, oh my goodness. I've been working so hard because I thought that level, let me hold on to that one. It's here gone, here gone. Everything. It's just this beingness. It is. And that's why I like being in the moment seems never to go away. And the being is all over the place. And I'm here, 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 here. So, and I think sometimes I sink to that lowest level. It felt like, and it's never the lowest. It's like become that little single grain of sand, so terrible, so drowning in, and then all of a sudden I'm floating. So but what hasn't gone away is this being in the moment. Call it whatever. And we each have our own little vocabulary for it. Silence, mush, you name it. That's okay. I don't care. It's just this beingness and then the beingness. And I love it because the being gives me freedom. I enjoy, I love, I play, it's all whatever. And that's why I liked what I said earlier. And I know it didn't click for none of that really matters in a sense that I'm using the word matter. But again, it's my level of consciousness about the word matter. It's all just happening, 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 happening. And then here's the being. Just the being. Anyway, see, I've just described a level of my, and you can either join me for a split second or never. It doesn't matter because it's not real anyway. Okay.
I think that what you're sharing is love, and I think the love is real. And I think that's why we love listening, because we feel it. We feel the love that you're expressing and extending through the words and through the image and through your enthusiasm. And that's what really matters.
And see, boy, do I love being at that level of understanding and consciousness as you spoke. I love it. I just, okay. And now I'll be with it too.
Oh, okay. Indigo, what you got for us?
Is that everything that comes up, whatever it is, it's here for us. And when we can step back from whatever we're feeling, step back and bring it in, or just let it just be. That it's here for us, and just be with it, love it. It's from our Father.
It's funny. It's here for us and it is us at the same time. It's both and. share really quickly something I thought of this morning I wanted to share with you all, which is an observation of beingness that arose in this mind this morning. I noticed I had a negative thought, and then another negative thought about something completely different followed along. And this is something Cindy probably knows from Jim's self, but it's almost as though the negative thought just attracted another negative thought, or the energy, it just birthed another thing that was of the same tone, the same quality, the same idea of separation. It just birthed another one because it wanted to continue. It wanted to go on, right? It wanted to string a whole creation of negative thoughts, what we call negative thoughts, together. But the beingness that I am, this was able to rest in the space of awareness in which that thought was seen. And then I got to experience all this in a split second. How does that thought make you feel? Which takes us back to A Course in Miracles about the truth. What do you feel? What are you feeling? Yes, it ignites a chemical reaction. Yes, we can say that physically. It does. There is a physical chemical reaction, but that chemical reaction comes from the immaterial. And it doesn't matter. It's just like attracting like. And Jim Self talks about emotions built in building blocks and things coming in three, right? But the awareness, the space of awareness, I am, just recognized it. It was like, awareness of this thought, which is not what I am. And then it dissipated. As soon as it was seen, poof, the magnetic link between the thoughts just dissipated. Anyway, just wanted to share that. That's a benefit of being in the state of awareness, is that we see that these thoughts just arise, and then we get to see what happens when the thought arises, and what is the thought composed of, and what is it that's aware of it. And so we say everything arises from me, and it does. It arises for me, through me, as me, so that I can begin to know more of myself when I see what those thoughts are and how they attract other thoughts. It's all just this exponential growth of awareness, just by being the container in which all things arise. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I just respond. I love, and what I love about is that I don't even have to follow your words, but there's something I'm feeling as you're talking. And I don't have to even know the language of what those words are saying. But something in this moment is doing it all for me. And I'm just with you. And yeah, I call it love and being present. But you know what? I don't have to understand the literal meaning of your words. They do sound just so wonderful, but it's this feeling of being present in your presence. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the only group I can share this with. I really appreciate your listening to me try to describe. Anyway, I'm complete here. We have 5 minutes. And I have Indigo as the next person to
Yeah,
read.
we have 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have 20. I always think we're going to end on the hour. Indigo, do you want to read? We are at the bottom of page 26, beginning with the fullness of this teaching.
You'll have to unmute Indigo so we could hear you.
That's funny. Thank you. The fullness of this teaching is indeed a embodiment, the manifestation of the divine as we can be held in form. For the resurrection of Christ itself, the manifestation of the mind, of the monad. What is the transformer and redeemer of the world? When something is redeemed, it is reclaimed, and the source of all things, outpictured as you, seeks to redeem what it encounters. Now, to redeem something is to know it is as of God. It is not to say, oh, look at what poor thing by the side of the road. She doesn't know God. I'd best teach her what she is. The one you see by the side of the road is holy as anyone else. And your showing of this is the act of the Redeemer that can be reclaimed in any circumstance and to magnificent in any circumstance and to magnificent effect. Should I continue?
Does anybody have any thoughts about that? Cindy?
I just wanted to read this line out loud again. Now, to redeem something is to know it as of God. And it's interesting because this particular teaching is coming up in my world multiple times every day. And I just feel to confess how often mine pulls into continually seeing something that's not that, or actually seeing aspects of Cindy's life that is not that. So I can't say it enough. That's all. Is I'm very peaceful in just the awareness that the idea that what there is an idea held here that somehow there are aspects of the Cindy experience that are something other. And being able to stand still and say, but that's not true. Let's see what happens when I stand still and allow this aspect of self to be redeemed back into source, essentially. So for me, it feels like the foundation of a lot of what's arising. Yeah, so I'm grateful. Thank you for giving me the ability to I wrote them down. I'm grateful to hear Nadego's words, speaking Nadego's voice, reading these. It's like when Nadego speaks and Nadego reads, there's an energy that feels like it's reading into me. And those words especially hit something that was saying, yeah, except. I can buy that except for this aspect of, the Cindy story, for instance. So that's what I got.
I love that it says it can be claimed in any circumstance and to magnificent effect. What an amazing word, magnificent. Ah, I love that word.
Yes, yes. And the guides told us earlier when we were listening to them that when we raise that tone, when we raise in tone, it actually can shatter glass.
Mm,
So just by being in a higher level of tone, walking into a room, everything is impacted. It permeates. That's the translucent part. It just permeates everything.
William, what you got?
look at that poor thing by the side of the road. That's me. That's all those me's that I find and am aware of. And when I hear certain words, at whatever level that poor thing is, I see that there's the holiness that surrounds it. And when someone speaks, they trigger sometimes that poor thing in me, whatever that might be, or that wonderful thing, or that wonderful thing. I'm just observing. Wow, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. And it's beginning not to matter that other people join me, because we're all anyway. I'm just noticing. And I just think so this space is so ripe and rife with every possible way of being and being. And I see that being, it just keeps shining through every one of us. Our stories are wonderful. I'm seeing the beauty of the story, while at the same time, it's this being that makes it all so real.
Thank you. Pat, come to the head of the table.
Ah, I have lowered my hand and unmuted myself. Yay. I wanted to say that sentence again too, Cindy. Now, to redeem something is to know it as of God. That's what Ndego is saying all the time. And it brought to my mind the Course in Miracles lesson, the salvation of the world depends on me knowing it as of God. And so that, of course, requires a large shift from the normal worldview that we're brought up in our culture, and so I love what Izzy did, because she started, and I think she started this ball rolling about everybody trying to describe how it feels to be. To me, it feels like I am unanchored from the what is he called, Little Izzy, or I don't think it was that. I feel just unanchored from everything. I feel just like, I don't know. It's but it is this thing, and Helen says, and I believe it, and I know it, I feel it, that once we've come to this place, we can't turn around. It's happening. We're not making it happen. It's happening, and we have come to a place where we have started to allow it to happen, and know that we don't have to there is no us to do anything or to decide anything, to think anything. There's just this thing that's happening, and we are, either going, oh yeah, this is God happening, or we're like, we missed the boat. So and what I had another thought here, like this what we're doing here. It's like all the boats are floating up together at once. We're all helping each other tune into this place where we know that everything is as of God. So yay!
Thank you so much for that. That's great description. Yeah, Kendall says it's like you ignite a chemical reaction. That was kind of like the emotion thing. Cindy.
There was an awareness while Sandra was speaking, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to attempt to verbalize it. If I can. And I can tell right off the bat that no matter what I say, it's not that. but what was heard, Sandra was talking about walking into a room and just being the higher vibration. That's what I heard. And affecting everything that Sandra saw. But as she was speaking, there was this recognition that whatever Cindy is, let's say it's a dozen different parts. Like it was almost like she undid, sort of like when Amy was talking about unlinking negative thoughts. There's this experience of recognizing that what I say Cindy is just a number of thoughts that have been linked together. Oh, I like the way that sounded here. Glad it's being recorded. So Cindy is just a collection of thoughts, to make it easier, that have been linked together. And while Sandra was talking about stepping into a room, there was a recognition that there are thoughts linked together. Some of them are high vibration, and some of them are still this lower, look at poor me kind of vibration. And the higher vibration is reclaiming the thoughts that are of lower vibration. But in them, while Sandra was speaking, the sense of, oh, it's not, Cindy will never walk into a room again, was sort of the feeling. There's an awareness and there's a movement and there's a joy, but the sense of me walking into a room just will never, in this moment now, doesn't feel like it makes any sense. There's awareness and intention moving, but if what I am is a collection of thoughts linked together, then which one of those thoughts is me? Does that make sense?
It does. It does. It makes perfect sense, because then we go back into the knowing I am. I can't know anything else. I only know I am. I exist. There is something here. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know anything, but I know that I am. I know that I am aware, and I'm aware of being aware. That's it.
So, you know what's really cool? I was just in talking to some things happened. I ended up in conversation with a woman who speaks very little English, and we were having a similar conversation. So I now know, I don't know if I'll pronounce it right. Ich bin is I am in German. Ich bin. And I've been walking around going, oh, ich bin. I'm gonna get it right, but it's the same energy, yeah. But for me, there's a shift because I don't have any conditioning around the German words like I do around the English words. All right, I'm gonna mute.
So it's all just being, as William said. Richard, good morning. Glad to see your hand.
Morning, everyone. What came to mind when Cindy said, which thought am I? What came immediately in my mind, but you are all thoughts in this moment. You're every thought. So whatever thoughts are in your mind, that's what you are in this moment. So if it's a higher frequency, fine. If it's a lower frequency, you laugh at it, go higher. So it's whatever you are in the present moment. Whatever thought you're entertaining, that's what you are in the present moment. Love us all.
Thank you. And Dago, do you want to read one more paragraph?
Sure.
Want to close us out?
Sure.
Could I just give you a little quick image of when I was listening to Cindy and Richard, of me wheeling a big wheelbarrow filled with thoughts. They're just a bunch of thoughts. So I go in with people, and you can take any of these that you want. They're all there. It's who I am is the one that's bringing the wheelbarrow in. And some of these thoughts I'm very partial to. Like when someone says something really nice about me, oh my God, I kind of melt. But that's just one of them in the wheelbarrow. And you can take it too if you want. I'll share it.
Thank you. All right, and Dago, we are at the top of page 27
Okay.
when we taught in prior texts.
Okay. When we taught in prior texts of working with the word as atonement, I am word, though my body word, I am word, and word though my vibration word, I am word, I am word, through my knowing of myself as word. Where we were claiming you each as the instrument of the divine, that you have always been. In subsequent texts, we examine the instrument and implications of beginning to play it, and the destructive aspects of self that would seek to deny it. But here we begin the great orchestra, the fullness of tone, the fullness of creation, as can be exemplified by the divine that has come to each of you. To become this again, an act of will in love, is to say yes to the true purpose of our nature, of your being, and true expression. To understand this is not to deny the act, is not to deny the acts you have taken on this plane. You have fed the poor, have healed the sick. You have done what you can to help others. And that is all wonderful. And of course, may continue. But in the high regard, but you are no longer seeking to find your holiness or prove its presence. It becomes a state of being where you know, and in your knowing, you set. And in this act of expression of God is known through you. Underline the word through. The self is conduit. The self as expression. The self is aligned to true purpose in love.
Thank you. Thank you. The self as conduit. The self as expression. I love that.
The three words that really jump out are being, know, and conduit.
Would you say that again?
Three words that just grab me. It becomes state of being where you know, and the conduit, that through the conduit. If when I get my beingness out of the way, the being and the knowing fills that conduit.
Thank you. So we'll start next week at the very bottom of page 27, that first sentence. What a great sharing, a great class, great gathering. There's a lot in here. Thank you, everybody, for reading. Beautiful reading.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Indigo and Izzy and Pat. Thank you, everyone, for sharing, Richard and William.
Oh, Rhonda had her hand raised.
Oh, she did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can I just leave us with a parting thought?
Yeah.
You are no longer seeking to find your holiness or to prove its presence.
Right on.